16 through chapter 20. It's going to be a long Bible study tonight. Almost need a cup of coffee just to be able to do it. I'm already extremely tired. We've had a very long day. We actually did a Bible study today. I mean, actually, not today. It was yesterday that took a long time. We did about 2 hours worth of, or more, almost 3 hours worth of Bible studies yesterday, um, which was a lot of reading. And today we're doing another Bible study. I'm talking about we did a different one on Facebook plus the one on here now. I mean, from yesterday, and now we're doing tonight. It's going to be Joshua chapter 16 through chapter 20, which is going to take a pretty good while. So hopefully you'll be able to stick around for a little bit and see what we got going on. We got a new system panel that we just did here for our Ironman system panels that we're making here. What we're going to do is we're going to put the arc reactor. This basically going to be basically like the chest reactor that's going to be here. And then we're going to have the LEDs that's going to pretty much shine straight through that. But until then, hopefully, I wish I could just add some other picture. If I wanted to put like a different picture on here, which I don't know how to do that. So it says that we're still live, but it don't show exactly how to throw another picture on here at the same time. I guess we're pretty much just stuck with what we got. So now, if you watched our video that we actually posted earlier today, it said what I had posted here on our short was, did you know the baptism of Jesus' name was changed to Father, Son, Holy Ghost? Now, what we're going to talk about today is really Joshua chapter 16 through 20. But at the same time, I really want to go into this right here about what we got going on for the baptism wise and why it was changed. And then we're going to jump straight into Joshua chapter 16 through 20. So obviously, she must have been awake for the past probably an hour, because the last time I checked on her was an hour ago. I've been actually checking on her multiple times, so she must literally just woke up.
She's really hungry. That's why she's upset.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad she woke up. I figure it's about the time. Normally she wakes up around 3 to 4 hours in whenever she goes to sleep, but she's only been asleep a couple of hours, so that's a good thing then. I'm glad she woke up, because otherwise she'd have been awake all night.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so it's a good thing. All right, so let's just go ahead and get straight into this Bible study.
Where are we?
Joshua chapter 16, and we're going to read through all the way through 20 tonight. I don't know how much that she's actually going to allow for this to happen tonight.
She will. Here. What's wrong? I'm going to check it in the room.
Here.
She's mad. Okay, I can't do it again.
Yeah, I got her. Hey, baby. She is aggravated tonight. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. We haven't abandoned you. We haven't left you. We're right here. Oh, you had a gas too, didn't you? Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Look at that cough. You okay? Yeah. Sorry, guys. We have a baby here, and the baby has to be attended to. So this is
12? No, he's just 16.
All right. So, and the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho into the water of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel, and goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passes along unto the borders of Archi to Ataroth, and goeth down westward to the coast of Japhaleti. And I guess, listen, like I said, I don't know how to pronounce some of these names, so it might sound a little weird. If you're following along with the Bible study with us, you'll know for a fact that it might be hard for you too. Now, if you know how to pronounce that, more power to you. I don't speak that language, so yeah, I'll do my best to pronounce it. Unto the coast of Beth Horon, the Nether, and to Gezer, and the goings out thereof are at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their inheritance. So this is basically what happened. We're getting to the point now. So they took their inheritance. So these people did. The children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their inheritance. So these are three different people, right? The children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim. I'm sorry, it's two people. Sorry, two different people. Manasseh and Ephraim took their inheritance. Okay. It says, and the border of the children of Ephraim according to their families was thus. Even the border of their inheritance on the east side was at the Tidaridar, however you said, Atorathadar, unto Beth Horon, the upper. And the border went out towards the sea of Mechmetheth on the north side. And the border went about eastward unto Tana Shalom, and passed by it on the east to Zanoha. Man, this is very, very hard to say these words. And it went down. This is why most people don't read the Old Testament, guys. I want y'all to know that. Although some people just like just reading stuff that's older and older and older stuff because it seems pretty fun to them. But a lot of people don't like reading the Old Testament because the words are hard to
I
pronounce.
don't like it besides the names.
Now, if they could just have the names where they've been easier to say, which, we live in a different time now. So that's the reason why things are obviously harder to pronounce and the communication and the language is totally different. So, yeah, it makes it a little bit harder to pronounce. So I got a wife and a daughter that's obviously coughing a lot tonight. So everybody's coughing, especially. See, you hear? So y'all pray for Jordan Baker so that she'll feel better. So, all right, Jordan. All right, let's check out. Oh, you feel okay. All right, it says, and it went down to Janahath, Ataroth, and to Nazareth, and it came to Jericho. It went out at Jericho. So all this is what's going down. It's coming out. It's going out at Jericho. The border went out from Teboth westward into the river of Kanah, and the goings out thereof were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. So this is what they're inheriting, guys. It said, and the separate cities from the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. And they drave, Darav, I guess it's Darav, not out of the Canaanites. Oh, I'm sorry. And they drive not out the Canaanites that dwell in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day and serve under tribute. So this is what they do. They serve underneath tribute to the Ephraimites, the Canaanites. But the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day and serve under tribute. So they owe them a tribute, the Canaanites do, which we know who the Canaanites are. The descendants of Cain. But they had the inheritance. They went all the way down to the Jordan. Oh, it's you, Jordan. Anyway, so going to 17. Now that is very complicated. Only thing I know is it's talking about the inheritance between two people that basically all these rivers that basically went down where it came out to the Jordan River, and this is the stuff they basically inherited. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You ready to get off work, ain't you?
No, I'm reading this.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm stressed out from work, school. I'm reading it.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Just read it.
Well, okay. There was a lot. Oh, I did notice one thing. Let me go back to 16. 16:1. And a lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho unto the water of Jericho on the east. So now this is a lot. They're casting lots, and wherever the lot fell is where they would go. So they cast a lot to see where to go. Now, can you cast lots today? I don't know where it doesn't say that you can't, because they even cast lots to find out whether or not who was going to be the next disciple. And so they cast lots, and they chose the not next disciple, but next apostle. And so lots can still be done. It's just up to you whether or not, if you just trust the Lord, that he's going to answer you that fast. Now, some people need all kinds of confirmations. Some confirmations they need all the way for like a year of confirmation before they finally get up and move, or before they even make a decision, because they're scared they can make the wrong one. And said, just trust him. The Lord's going to answer, and just say, you know what? This is you, God. Hi, baby. Hi. Are you hungry? Are you hungry, baby? Are you hungry, baby? And there was a Lot from the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Who was? Manasseh was the firstborn, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. So that means he was a man of war. Therefore, he had Gilead and Bashan. Sorry. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Ebenezer, and for the children of Helek, and for the children of Azrael, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Heper, and for the children of Shemitah. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. That's a lot of male kids by their families. But okay, hold on. Let me put her like this so I can feed. What are you putting your leg up for? What's that leg up like that for? Hold on. I gotta feed her at the same time. Here we go. Okay. You was in there crying, wasn't you? Didn't even know that she was crying. I thought it was plugged up the whole time.
I'm supposed to plug in the bottle warmer today.
Must be nice to have a bottle warmer, huh? That bottle warmer got you screaming, didn't it, baby? You got a hair on your eyeball. Does that hair irritate you? Sorry, guys. I don't mean to get distracted. Okay. But Zelophehad, the son of Heper, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, he had no sons, but daughters. And these are the names of the daughters: Mahela, and Noah.
Noah is a girl.
Noah's a girl's name. Wow. Hogla. That's kind of a weird name. Hogela.
I think almost all
Hogela.
the weirds are named.
It's Hogela.
All these names are weird.
Hogela. Magilla. Elkiha. And Tezra. I guess that's how you say it. Tezra. And they began near. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, "The Lord commanded Moses, give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, besides the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the other side of Jordan." So see, everybody's going basically down to where the Jordan was. They're all receiving an inheritance. They have sons and daughters that's been mentioned, and they're casting lots, if you notice so far. We're talking about the one that has the son of war, and now we're mentioning a whole lot of different names here and just who these people are. We're talking about the ones that have kids and the ones who do not have kids. And this is kind of what's going on here. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know you was in there crying. I'm so sorry, honey. I wasn't leaving you in there like that. You know that. I missed you. I had you in here with me all day. I mean, just can't go take you, put you in the bed. That's what it is. Just going to stay in here with me, supervised.
Well, you know, now that thing is beeping, it means he's not plugged in.
Because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons, the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. So since the daughters got something, the sons got something. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher and Malmedeth, that lieth before Shittim. And the border went along on the right hand of the inhabitants of in Tapeth. Now, Manasseh had the land of Topheth, and Topheth on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the coast descended unto the river of Cana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river. And the outgoing of it were at the sea. So it's telling where the outgoing is at, and it's telling what side of the river it was on, and for each one. Sorry, I'm trying my best to feed her and read at the same time, so this is kind of hard. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher and Beth Shean and her towns, and Eblon and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Tanea and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns. And this is even 3 countries. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. So it's saying this is what the Canaanites would have to go dwell in. These are the ones basically all the daughters were pretty much getting from this thing when we were just reading. That's why it says in her towns. Okay, so and it says, and it came to pass. Hey, baby. All right, you listening? Tell me when you're ready. You ready? You ready, baby? Mm-hmm. And it came to pass when the children of Israel were waxed strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly to drive them out. So he said, we made them have to go to work. And so, but they're not going to drive them out of their land, yet. So they're basically, we're going to put them in their own land, which would dwell in that land, in this land that they're going to go dwell at. So we're making them have to do what they've been tributed to do. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joseph, saying, why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit? Okay, it sounds like a lot is like literally like when we were just recently trying to go buy, well, not buy, we tried to get some land. Now we received already basically like an inheritance of one lot that was given to us. How weird is that? Pretty cool, huh? Mm-hmm. So that this is obviously what the lot they're referring to here versus casting lots. So they didn't cast lots, but it sounded like the one of them said the lot fell. So it sounds like a lot can be an inheritance, depending on how the way that it is actually worded. We'll go back into that here right at the end. And the children of Joseph spake to Joshua, saying, why hast thou given me one lot and one portion to inherit? To inherit, seeing I am a great people, for as much as the Lord hath blessed me hitherto. Sorry, this is, like I said, I'm feeding the baby at the same time and reading. What are you doing? Why are you smiling at me?
You want me to get her something?
You want to hang out with Daddy for a second? That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. See, she's talking to me, guys. She's talking to me. Well, you're going to get better. You're going to get better. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. You want to read with Daddy? You want to read with me? Or no? Okay. You want some more bottle? Almost done. Okay. Well, hold on. Here, I think Megan wants to hold it for a second.
You're going to bottle. There we go.
Okay. Sorry.
Let's take girl.
Okay. And Joshua answered them, if thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites. I call them parasites. and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. So cut it down. Don't cut it down. It could be too narrow. Like, in other words, we're going to make the path wider. And the children of Joseph said, the hill is not enough for us. And all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bathsheba and her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, thou art a great people, and has great power. Thou shalt not have one lot only. He's saying, I want to give you something else. You're not just going to have this one lot. You don't have to be just 12 in this one place. You're already complaining about that it needs to be made wider, that it's not wide enough. It says, but the mountains shall be thine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoings of it shall be thine. For thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, or chariots, not chariots, iron chariots, and though they be strong. He said, so the rest of the Canaanites is here, the ones of the tribute, we're going to go ahead and they're going to be removed, or we're going to drive them out. We're getting them out of here. And the whole congregation, this is chapter 18, of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there, which is obviously like a church, a tabernacle. It's a big meeting. And the land was subdued before them. So it means they came and inhabited it. That's what they're staying at right now. And then there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes, which had not yet received their inheritance. These people are still trying to get inheritance. So this is the promise that was from Moses. That's obviously came from the Lord for them to do. And this is the decisions that was being made. And this is what they're inheriting. And there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes, which had not received their inheritance. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, how long are ye slack to go possess the land which the Lord of our fathers has given you? So how long is it going to take before you'll go do something about it? It says, give out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them, and they shall rise and go through the land and describe it before to the inheritance of them, and they shall come again to me, and they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall abide in their coast on the south, and the house of Joseph shall abide in their coast on the north. So this is one's going to go to the south and one's going to the north. He says, you need to go do something about it. It's already been given to you. Why aren't you doing anything about it? You're just sitting here standing still. Sometimes you got to get up and move. The heck was that?
What?
I got that on camera. That was really strange, wasn't it, guys? So you know what I'm talking about. You can rewind back on that. And it's like 22 minutes in, or 21 minutes in. So I'll be definitely going back on that. And they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall abide in their coast on the south. So Judah's going to go to the south. And the house of Joseph shall abide in their coast on the north. The house of what? Joseph. And Judah is going to the south, and Joseph is going to the north. Ye shall therefore describe the land into 7 parts, and bring the description hither to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. So he's saying, cast lots. And then now he's saying, this is what I was talking about earlier with casting lots. So now he's going to cast lots, and whatever that the lot reveals is from the Lord. So they would actually literally draw straws, and whichever one that actually from the decision they chose would actually be from the Lord. And they literally believed that the Lord would say to do this. Some people would be like, well, isn't that just chance? Like, just a roll of the dice? No, it's different when it's from the Lord, because everything will work out when it's actually right. It depends on whether or not if you're using the Lord in it or if you're not. Okay. But the Levites had no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. What? The priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. The priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad and Reuben and half of the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond Jordan on the east, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. So what was their inheritance now? The priesthood. Yep. They're called to be the priests. So they're the Levitical priesthood. So they bring the sacrifices. They're the ones that worship the Lord. The Lord is their inheritance. Remember, we went over this before. It's just like really good stuff here. And the other ones are all inheriting the land from every different direction. Pretty much, you've already pretty much seen. Now he's wanting them to go basically.
I bet they have to take care of the land though. And
they're having to take care of the land and everything else. This is part of their job, and every place has been given. One person has this part of the land, another person has this part of the land, another person has this part of the land. They're separating the land, they're dividing everything, and now they're about to have to go basically drive out the Canaanites in order for them to have this other land. And they're just like standing still because they're complaining because they're saying, well, hey, they got iron chariots, iron chariots, how are we supposed to beat them? They have iron, we don't have iron. Look what we got. Well, how are we going to do it? He's like, have you not seen how much the Lord has already been working for you, and yet you're still doubtless? Why are you so doubt-minded? Why are you so fearful? Stop looking at the situation and just believe that the Lord's going to be with you and he's going to do it. This is yours. He's going to get rid of these people. They're getting out of the way. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to work out. But you sometimes have to get up and move. Sometimes you have to go fight for what you want. If you don't get up and fight, you ain't going to have none. But the Levites had no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And so that they literally are interceding and tuning into God's Spirit, making offerings and sacrifices. And this is what they're doing. Now, some people of you that may have family members that never ever go to church, that never ever do a thing with God, and you want them to live for God, and you want God to have mercy on them. You know what? You might be a part of that Levitical priesthood, the Levites priesthood. Basically, in other words, because now we come bring our offerings to the Lord as interceding for those people. That's what we do, because we want them to be saved. We want them to make it and go to heaven. We want them to understand it, for God to intervene and to do something to try to get their attention, so that we will continue to bring our sacrifices of praise and offerings and wave offerings and everything that we have in order to get his attention, in order for him to send someone their way to be able to speak a word to them in their season, so that maybe it can cause them to be able to get it right, or to even be able to change in some of their situations. Just like my family, they had to pray for me, in order to go, if I was going to die, to get me locked up, to send me to prison. And guess what? It worked. It's the same thing I prayed years before, that if I ever fell away, that's what he would do. So we were already in agreements, and the petition was already sent up. And guess what? It came to pass. And I got it right. And then I got out and met a new wife and have a baby. And now I'm working towards getting my children back, and everything else has been working out for the good.
Yeah.
It says, and the men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, go and walk through the land and describe it, and come again to me, that I may hear and cast lots for you before the Lord in Shalom. It says, and the men went and passed through the land and described it by the cities and several parts of the book. And it came to pass, it came again to Joshua, to the host at Shalom, and Joshua cast lots for them at Shalom before the Lord. And there Joshua divided the land to the children of Israel according to their divisions. So he gave everybody their part, but he cast lots before who? The Lord. See? There's a different type of casting lots. And a lot of the tribe of the children of the Benjamin came up according to their families, and the coast of their lot came forth between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph, and their border on the north side was from Jordan. And so, whose border was that? That's Jordan, right? Not Jordan. So Joseph, the children of Joseph, the children of Judah, and the children of Joseph, their border on the north side from Jordan. And the border went up from the side of Jericho on the north side, it says, and went up through the mountains westward, and going out thereof were at the wilderness of Beth Haven. And the border went over from thence towards Luz to the side of Luz. What's really funny is somebody that will come on here, and it looks like they're on here, and it looks like that they came on and they like something. I'm glad they come on and like that I'm actually still doing stuff, but I would definitely like to know for a fact that if somebody's actually watching this or not, because it shows I have a top chat list over here in this chat box. And if you just come on, just like it just for a second, because you know that you like what I'm doing here, well, praise God for you liking what I'm doing. I'm going on for the Lord. But I also would like for somebody to leave a comment here to show me that, if you come on here, if you're actually watching this. So I would like to know for a fact that you actually watched it, if possible, because so that we know whether or not who's watching it, and if you need any help with this, because sometimes we need some help too. And so if you want to be able to help us, and a little bit about this, go ahead and just drop a comment in the comment box. It would always help, especially for us. And and if let us know that, hey, that you're watching this, and that you're getting something from it, because we are too. Maybe not a whole lot, but we're getting something. All right, and the borders went out from the towards Luz and the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward, and the borders of descended to. Here we go with these crazy names again. It says a Torudadar, near the hill that lieth on the south side of neither Beth Horon. And the border was drawn thence and compassed the corner of the sea southward from the hill that lie before Beth Horon southward, and the goings out thereof were at Kir Baal, which is Kirjarim, the city of the children of Judah. This was the west quarter. So they're on their west quarter, the ones from the children of Judah. And we're already basically talking about the other ones. It's on the south side, the southward, which was, yeah, it's some of the area where they had to go down to get to where the city of Judah is going to be at. That was the west quarter. And the south quarter was from the end of Jehoram. And the border went out from the west and went to the wells of water of Nabtul. And the border came down to the end of the mountain that lie before the valleys of the sons of Hinnom, and which is in the valley of the giants on the north. So there's a valley of giants. You hear that? Of giants on the north, and descended to the valley of Hinnom to the side of Jebusee on the south, and descended to the Enrogel. I don't know. And was drawn from the north and went forward to. They said that they ate themselves out of existence, is what I heard, but I don't know if that'd be true or not. They could have been cannibals. Our guy might have just got rid of them, or they might have just died because they got too tall.
And now they're like
they might have bred with people, and that might be where people got giantism, and they all just got to a certain height, and they all just decided to start dying to where they got where the genes started working to where it basically we worked them out. We might have giants in us.
Yeah.
Somewhere way on back, but God just worked it all out to where, we are who we are today. Who knows? I'm talking about it might not be us, it might be some of the people. There might be a tribe that might have that in them. Who knows? All I know is, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus, that they're not.
That we're not part of that.
Yeah.
And so this is what's happened here. So, and was drawn from the north and went from forth from Ephraim and went towards Gilloth, which is over against the going up of Adamim, and descended to the stone of Bahan, the son of Reuben, and passed along towards the side against Arabeth, northward, went down unto Arabah. And the border passed along the side of Beth Holoco, northward, and the outgoing of the border were at the north bay of the sea salt at the south end of Jordan. This was the south coast. I'm sorry, guys, if I sound like I'm speaking gibberish and I'm just mumbling words. Like I said,
we're doing our best.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best here. And Jordan was the border of it. On the east side, that was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin, but the coast thereof round about, according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, Bahogoth, and the valley of Kis. And here we go. Beth Hedrabah, and Zarmeram, and Bethel, and Avim, and Pera, and Ophir, and Jahamaramina, and Jahvia, and Gaba, and 12 cities which with there were their valleys. Sorry, it's got me all tongue-tied.
Some of them don't like a word. I mean, they look like just random letters.
Yeah, I know. Gibbon and Ramah and Maz and Jephram and Mohasa and Jamel and April and Osir and Lalahal, Alahia, Mushala, Inalama, Shadalaba. This plan. This is a bunch of other names, 14 cities where there are villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. So this is just basically what this is all what I'm saying here to get into what it is. I know it sounds like I'm speaking a bunch of gibberish. It's a bunch of cities and what their inheritance and what they got. Now, here's what it is. You can track that back down through history when we go to do a deeper Bible study. If we're going to do this, we're just right now just pretty much reading them, kind of giving an understanding what's going on here. This is their inheritance. That's what they've all inherited. The women, the men, where it's at, what location, what they inherited, and what's going on, who they're scared of, what they're trying to fight against, what they need to be possessing, and where they're having to make decisions and important decisions, and how the way they made it, how Joshua made an important decision, and where they came back before Joshua, where they're still holding to the promise of Moses, and this is kind of what's going on so far. Did I describe that pretty well?
Yeah.
And the second lot came forth to Simeon, even from the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their family, and their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. And they came in their inheritance of Beersheba and Sheba and Moldea and Harsah and Baal. And oh my gosh. Here we go again. And it'll tell them about Bahari and Sonhina and Harsha and Shiza and 13 cities of their villages, and Ramah and Hether and the four cities of their villages, and all the villages that were round about these cities to Baal Shaber and Ramah of their south. Of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribes of Simeon according to their families. So they said they're talking about everybody here is getting an inheritance. They're saying they're getting theirs. So this is proof that God gave them exactly what he said he was going to do. This is why it's important. That's why it's mentioned, is because God's saying, if you need proof, I'm going to make sure I wrote it all down.
Yeah.
So some people need proof. It don't matter what you tell them, they won't believe you unless they see it in writing. Well, this is the writing.
I'm sure they read it too.
This is why he put it in there. So God obviously has a sense of humor because he wrote it down. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Simon according to their inheritance. Their family. Out of the portion of the children of Judah was the inheritance of the children of Simeon. For the part of the children of the Judah was too much for them. Therefore, the children of Simeon had their inheritance within the inheritance of them. So he said they got so much that somebody else was able to join with them. And the third lot came up from the children of Zabulon according to their family, and the border of their inheritance was unto Sarid, and their border went up towards the sea, in Malera, the reach into Dabisha, and reached to the river that is before Jonim, and turned from Zered eastward towards the sun rising into the border of whatever this name is, and then going up to Deberith and going up to Jeppa. And from thence pass on along the east to Jedaheper, Elohikar, and goeth out of Ramaniath and Nia. And the border compasses it on the north side to Kenahila, and the outgoings thereof are in the villages of Japil. You might as well just put this in another language. This is pretty gibberish to me. It's very hard to pronounce this other language. And Katath and Nalel and Sharon and Elda and Bethlehem, 12 cities and their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Zabul according to their families and their cities, which is their villages. And the fourth lot came out of, came out of Asher from the children according to their families. And their border was towards, I know, right? And there's all these names. Just read it with me. It's 19, 20, 21. So those are all those names. I can't pronounce them all. I'm just going to start skipping so we can get to the point. I would just skip the names and just read. And the coast reached the Tabra and Shalom, and the outgoings of their borders were at Jordan. 16 cities were their villages. Now, these people are receiving a lot of inheritance, guys. A lot of inheritance. This is the inheritance of the tribes of the children of Asher, according to the family, the cities of their villages. And the fifth lot came out from the tribe of the children of Asher, according to their families. And their border was all these places, the Carmel westward, toward the sun rising of this place here, and to the north side of Jeppo, towards the north side of this other place, and left hand. This is telling the location where it's at. And then it says, and then the coast turned to Ramah, and to the strong city Tyre, and to the coast of this other place, turned to Hoesh, and outgoing thereof are at the sea from the coast of this other place, whatever it's called. And Blank also, and that also, and Ramah, 22 cities with their villages. So they received 22 cities. This is an inheritance of the tribes of Asher. According to their families, these cities were their villages. Now, this is a lot of places. Once again, we're talking about these making known all their names and all their cities and all their stuff they got going on. The sixth lot came into this other people, and it's going to talk about where it's at when the outgoings are where at Jordan. So you notice that everything is basing at Jordan, and the outgoings are going out from that. If you notice that so far, everybody's just going one direction, others going another direction, and they'll go another direction, another one, another direction. It's talking about the cities they had. This had so far the one that stood out the most was one of them was so large that two of them got put in one so far. And so this is what's going on. So we're just going to kind of skip on down now instead of just reading all the rest of this. And Iron, and it says 19 cities was their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribes of Nepal according to the villages and the family and their villages. The seventh lot came to the children of Dan. Now this is, I want to read this part right here. I want to read the part about Dan though, because see, Dan is not mentioned in Revelations. The tribe of Dan. Tribe of Dan is from who? From what's his name again? Samson. Yeah. So the seventh lot came into the tribe of the children of Dan according to their families, and the coast of their inheritance of Zoroth and Esher and Irisham and Shalom and as far down as what it goes, the coast, and the children of Dan went out too little for them. The coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them. Therefore, the children of Dan went up to fight against Lashem and took it. So you see, they didn't have a big enough land, so they had to go fight to get some more land. Isn't it funny that Samson was considered a fighter?
Yeah.
Of all the tribes so far, this one's having to go fight to get more land.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that they have to fight for what they want. And if they don't fight, they ain't going to get it.
Yeah.
It says, and smote it with the edge of the sword and possessed it and dwelt therein and called Lashem Dan after the name of Dan, their father. So Dan was the name of their father. This is an inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan, according to the family and the cities and their villages. When they had made an end of dividing the land for the inheritance of their coast, the children of Israel gave an inheritance to Joshua, the son of Nun, among them. According to the word of the Lord, they gave him the city which he asked, Taman-ekashur, in the mountain of Ephraim. And he built the city and dwelt therein. These are the inheritance which Elazar, the priest, and Joshua, the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the children, the tribes and the children of Israel, divided for an inheritance by the lot of Shalom before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So they made an end of dividing the country. So he says, finally, it's over. And you know what? That's how the way I feel. Finally, I'm done mentioning it all. So, but thank God that everybody there got their land. So this is what I noticed. A lot of people that's in these tribes had a bunch of cities. A lot of people have literally a bunch of cities that they got, that they made out of their land and had all this stuff and where it was coming from. Everyone looks like it basically goes back to the border of Jordan. Besides, most of this thing so far looks like that, that it basically has like its own spot where it's going out and it's going out and it's going out. But, they all have their own area that's their areas. Let's just put it like that. So they all had their own areas that they dwelled in. But one had so big of a possession of the land that they gave to this one, which you got to understand now, who is this people that got the biggest possession of land? What they were so blessed that they had to take another tribe with them and give them some of their portion in order for them to be blessed. So sometimes people can get so blessed that the Lord will purposely tell you that you need to give some of your blessing away.
Yeah.
And if you don't give some of your blessing away, then he might just take that from you because it's not yours anyway. So here's the thing is they were forced to have to give it up, even if they didn't want to. This because the Lord's the one that said that. So but here's the thing is I don't think they even had a choice. The next thing was for the tribe of Dan, which is not even mentioned in Revelations. They had to go fight for the rest of the land for it to be big enough for them to be able to dwell in. So they had to literally go fight for it. But if you notice, all the other ones didn't have to fight for it. And here's what it is today. A lot of our nation acts like we're in the tribe of Dan, because a lot of people just don't want to fight for this thing in order to have the inheritance of Christ, in order to have eternal life. They'd really just be like Dan. If you notice, Dan's not even mentioned in Revelations. They really, people just don't want to have to do anything no more. They just wanted to say, you know what, I'm done. I'll just settle with what I got while I'm here, and then hopefully I can be able to make dues. When all the while you don't have enough place to live in, your spot is so compacted that it's stressing you out to where you have to have more land, which is our everlasting land that we're going to inherit. So unless we come to an end to ourselves and go fight with the edge of the sword of the Spirit and fight against and push back the darkness, you're not going to inherit this other part of the land that you need. Chapter 20. The Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Appoint out for you cities of refuge. So there's places that you're saying that you need to make cities for refuge, the place that you go to for refuge. Whereof I spake unto you by the hand of Moses, that the slayer that killeth any person unawares, and it says, and unwittingly may flee thither, and they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. And when he that doeth flee one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of that city, they shall take him into the city and to them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. He's saying if they do something stupid, they're getting kicked out, but I'm still making sure they're getting taken care of. You notice that? Wow, that's actually pretty cool. That means that God wants to have mercy. He really wants to have mercy. Just because it feels like you've been completely kicked out, he's still technically giving you a part of your inheritance still. You're still covered. You notice that?
Yeah.
He says that this is what it is. He says, this is what it looks like. It says that the slayer that killeth any person unawares.
How do you kill somebody in an accident?
Like, in other words, if there's an accident, like you accidentally kill somebody from getting hurt.
Like
Let's say that you got so mad that you choked somebody and you didn't mean to kill them and they died. Or what if you hit somebody with a rock and you were just trying to hurt them, but you really weren't trying to kill them? Yeah. The Lord knows the heart.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is nowadays people go to prison. I'm just saying. So he says, and unwittingly may flee thither. He said, this is where he might not want to have to go there, but this is where he can go flee to get away. And he says, let this other place of this land be made known for a place for him to go to, so that he don't have to dwell in the land where it just happened at. So it's kind of like a refuge for him to flee because it was done by accident. That's what it sounds like. You know what it sounds like to me? Like what happened with Moses? He accidentally killed one of the Egyptians by accident because where he was trying to defend. And then he had to go flee to the wilderness. You haven't forgot. Sounds just like his same situation. And that's where he met with the Lord at. So did the Lord know that he killed the Egyptian? Yes, he sure did. The Lord definitely knew what was going on. All right. So this is what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, me too.
They flee thither, that they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. And when he that doeth, see, what's the avenger of blood? Somebody's going to want to get vengeance. You see what I'm saying? What happened with Esau? Esau wanted to kill Jacob because of where he stole his birthright. He was physically going to kill him. And so Jacob had to flee. Well, this is a place for them to flee. It says, when he that doeth flee into one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of that city, and they shall take him into the city and to them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. And if the avenger of blood pursue after him, you hear what I'm saying? Then they shall not deliver the slayer into his hand, because he smote his neighbor unwittingly and hated him not before time. He's saying he didn't mean to do it. He's saying they're gonna probably try to come. This is what he's saying. If this happens and they try to come to get vengeance, he said they're not going to tell him, that man, where he's at. The whole place is supposed to know. No, sorry, man, you're just gonna have to get over this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An accident's an accident. And so this is what it is. An accident, it is an accident. And you know whether or not somebody did something purposely. You know what I mean? Anyways, it's because he smote his neighbor unwittingly and hated him not before time. So in other words, he didn't hate him before he killed him. And he shall dwell in the city until he stand before the congregation for judgment, and until the death of the high priest. It says that shall be in those days. From judgment until the death of the high priest, that shall be in those days. Then shall the slayer return and come into his own city, into his own house, unto the city from whence he fled. So he cannot leave that city until the high priest dies. So hopefully the high priest isn't a young man.
He'll be there forever.
It's been a long time. It says they appointed Kadesh and Galilee, the mount of Nebatel and Shalem, and the mount of Ephraim and Karam, which is Hebron, and the mountain of Judah. And on the other side Jordan and Jericho, eastward of San Bazar, and the wilderness upon the plain out of the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth and Gil out of the tribe of Gad, and Gilon and Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities appointed for the children of Israel, for the strangers that sojourning among them, that whosoever killeth any person at unawares, not flee thither, and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stood before the congregation. He's saying this is what it is. He's going to have to go get judged, and until he gets judged, and until the high priest dies, he can't leave and go back home. In other words, the other person that's the avenger, the one that wants to kill him, cannot come kill him. And these are all his appointed cities that's for anybody.
Actually happened for him to be making all.
So this is what the Lord is saying. The Lord knows what's going to happen. That this stuff's going to end up happening. So the Lord's already appointed and having it set up as a place for refuge for these people, because there's a lot of people that's going to obviously want to kill somebody that killed their family member. And it's just the way it is today. Somebody else today can go kill one of their family members by car wreck, by accident. And guess what? Because that person wasn't paying attention for 1 second, that person can get life in prison. It's been known.
Yeah,
People get in some serious trouble because of an accident. It's like, are you serious?
Most of the time
Dude, it's an accident.
Right.
What, am I supposed to get in the car? What, I can't drive down the road? I can't do nothing? You know what I mean? What if you feed somebody the wrong freaking food by accident? Well, now you somehow must have knew that it was rotten meat and poisoned them. You know what I mean? This is why the Lord is basically saying right here, I know your heart, man. I'm going to have mercy on you. But here's the thing is, until that person dies, then you can't go nowhere. And so it's just what it is. Isn't it kind of funny that some people will have to wait a while until this time is up before they can even go anywhere or do anything? And sometimes we have to wait to our appointed time too for us to be able to go anywhere. And that's the same thing that would happen with them. There's some stuff that we've all done that we had to go flee to this certain particular city until our avengers basically can get over it. And until we basically served out our sentence in it.
It sounds like that he's doing that though for them, because the people are.
Well, he's doing it for them. He's protecting them. That's what he's doing. This is what it is though. But he's also doing that so he can buy them time for the person to get over it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the person would come there immediately and try to kill him. And they know even that when they come back into the city, even if they still have an all against them, that they can't go kill them.
Yeah.
It's known. They can't do it. Now, did that happen? I don't know if it did or not, but it might have. It might, not everything might not be recorded in the Bible. There's no telling. Well, it seems like a lot of stuff is recorded. Obviously, just like what Megan just said, it obviously was an issue. So
Even
otherwise, it
what
wouldn't
Jesus
be
did wasn't
mentioned.
all
So
recorded, so
yeah. So
I don't think that.
but anyway, that only took 54 minutes for 4 chapters. We did our best as we could do for this one. I hope y'all have a blessed night. For 4 chapters and a bunch of gibberish talking that I didn't do that well at. I did pretty good at considering to explain it. I think I did.
Yeah.
If you need some better understanding, kind of what's going on, what areas that these places are that they all inherited, I explained it definitely for the tribe of Dan, and was basically explaining for the other 2 cities. I'm sorry, 2 tribes that basically had to join together into one big land that they had, and the other ones had their own land, and once again, the Levites had their own Levitical priesthood that they basically ended up having, which their inheritance was the Lord. And if you notice that Joshua even got his own inheritance, like he got the land that he wanted. So I think it's all pretty awesome stuff, though. So really good stuff that the Lord approves right here and backs up his word. And guess what? He's detailed like the way I am. He literally wrote it down word for word for word for word for word. He made sure that you had to hear it. So some people that says, man, you ain't going to get that detail. Well, the Lord did. So deal with it. Have a blessed night. See y'all on the next one.